Hello, everybody. Hi, hello. I am your androgynous android host from the future, Nathan Blades, and this is a Cyberpunk Book Club. A weird little show that I host because I am neither fast nor good at video games, so we talk about them as if they were texts instead. Welcome. Unfortunately, at this current stage, I do not have any guests with me on the show right now. That's partially because we are currently playing Astral Chain, the hot new platinum character action video game, and a handful of people in the Phantom Arts Entertainment crew would quite like to play it for themselves, and they don't want to be spoiled with the playthrough of this. So I am going to be soloing this as best as I can. Because my streaming career is quite minimal so far, I don't know how well I can kind of hold up conversation with just me and whoever is watching, but I will do my best. After all, we have a format and we have to stick to it. So, on Cyberpunk Book Club, as I say, we go and discuss various texts, cyberpunk games, as if they were texts about their themes, what they picture cyberpunk as a genre or a cyberpunk future to be, and I guess also like explore how the game design and stuff and the soundtrack and all those other bits that go into making a game quite different to what goes into making a book or a movie, and how that contributes to cyberpunk as a genre. Previously on this show, we have played mostly quite dialogue-heavy games, the likes of Read Only Memories and Subsurface Circular and Hypnospace Outlaw. Astral Chain, as I said earlier, is a character action game, so you would think that actually there would be a minimal amount of talking, but as I understand, this game has a surprising amount of non-combat scenes in it, and the daily life of the characters, or the kind of day-to-day jobs of the characters when they are not fighting aliens. So that will be really interesting to explore. So, as you can kind of see to my, what would be your right, my left, there, that side, is the kind of like a docket. This is actually an ongoing document that has all the games that we've discussed so far. When this is mirrored on YouTube later down the line, the link to that will be there. And if you ask for it in chat, I am more than happy to link it to you. So we're going to go and discuss what the game is, and then some of the themes that we expect. And then after we play for a couple hours, I normally run this for about 3 hours. But if I'm doing this solo today, it's probably going to be a little shorter than that. We'll see how we go. But after the playthrough session, we go and discuss what ideas we have to take away from this. I do a lot of tabletop RPG work outside of doing streaming. And I find that inspiration comes from all sorts of places. So playing these various games is actually really inspiring for me because it influences my work down the line. So I like to kind of know what kind of ideas I can take away from the work. And then also what cyberpunk is to this game. While everybody is very, very aware of what a genre is and what genre fiction is, what is contained within a piece of genre fiction might change depending on the person who's putting it together. So even with a genre as niche as cyberpunk, there are certain things that different games and different authors and different game designers focus on. So we'll be discussing what cyberpunk is to Astral Chain in particular. So, what is Astral Chain? Going by the description on the eShop store, which I will dramatically read, why not? In the near future, Earth has been invaded by otherworldly creatures known as chimeras. Corrupting the world with a substance known as red matter, these monsters has forced mankind to take refuge on a multicultural city called the Ark. The only hope for survival is Neuron, an elite police task force with a very special weapon codenamed Legion. Which, if you've seen anything to do with Astral Chain so far, you'll probably know that Legion is badass, like, robot alien dude whose neck has been leashed to the cop, and then they fight as if they were JoJo's Bizarre Adventure-esque stands, which ticks The idea of it being robots and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure style two-person combat ticks a lot of personal boxes for me. When this game was announced, I was very, very excited. And then I realized that you play as a police officer, and then felt very conflicted while still feeling very excited. Which is, it's rare in cyberpunk games for you to play as, how to put it indelicately, the oppressor, which police can often be in media and sometimes, unfortunately, in real life. So it's very interesting that we get to play with that as a character. So themes that we expect, we can definitely go and talk about something right away. And then one of the themes that we expect is the daily life of a cyberpunk police officer. Since I am aware already a little bit in advance that this game is not just about combat, there is a level of daily duties involved in helping people around the city of the Ark. So that's going to be really interesting to see how they do that and what kind of goes in to being a good policeman, which is actually, yeah, that's definitely a... Other themes, well, I know that the invaders in this setting are aliens. Whether these aliens are going to be explored, will they be humanized? Is there going to be an explanation of where they came from and what happened to them? So maybe there's going to be a discussion about that. So, an alien invasion story. Will they be humanized? And let's see, what else? Well, there's, I guess, the discussion of the Legion, these robots slash aliens that are physically chained to the police officer, like by a handcuff, but also that's like the chain latches to a leash around their neck, which is really interesting imagery. I wonder if there's going to be a discussion about the relationship between police officers and their legions, or whether the legions are going to be silent throughout. There's got to be at least one other thing that we can kind of discuss on in the themes that we expect. Let's have a think. So we've gone over a little bit about the nature of them being police officers in their day-to-day life. Actually, I guess if it's it's a multicultural city, as the description of the Ark is involved. So maybe there is a bit of discussion about this multicultural city. What is the city of the future like? Since, as you can probably tell, I am a non-straight to non-white person, I have a very keen sense, let's say, for multiculturalism and intersectionality in media, especially within cyberpunk media, since there's also kind of like an overlayering of kind of class politics and how minorities survive in a culture and a government that's hostile to them. So I'm really interested to see what multicultural means, whether there's just like anime black people, or whether they're going to be discussing about this in a wider scope. I will say as spoilers, there is character creation in this game, which is unusual for Platinum games and for character action games in general. They tend to not to do that. You can be a black person, but it's very much just in the nature of the skin tone they give you. The hair is not especially believable as Afro hair, but that is also pretty commonplace in a lot of Japanese games, which is a shame. It's a shame. Some games do that better than others. Pokemon's looking to do that relatively well in Sword and Shield. Here's hoping. Oh my gosh. I know I'm probably yelling into the void about this, but I'm so excited for Poltergeist. Such a good pun. Love ghost types, love tea. It's an adorable design. Will be my fave when I play that game. But yeah, I think that's largely the long and short of the themes that we might expect going in. I will say two other things before we start, as well as kind of just making sure that everything is working and that my levels are correct, and that people and that my friends in the Phantom Arts Entertainment Discord, which is for me and me alone, or us and us alone, that they are able to jump in. I am very lax about people jumping in midstream. If you want to come in for a good time and we're friends, then you can do that. Yeah. Right, yes. Going on to just to talk a little bit about the where I start the game. We're going to be starting with a pre-existing save, not very far in. Only about skipping about the first 45 minutes to an hour of cutscenes and all that kind of thing. Mostly because all of that is a little bit of setup of the world, but not especially interesting in terms of any of those themes that we'd expect that we're set in. They're mostly kind of like shonen anime set pieces, getting hype, but the actual kind of like breakdown of what the game is about and what we're doing is where the game will start. The other thing is that there are multiple difficulties in this game, or at least at game start there are two. There is casual, and then there is platinum standard. Now, I really like platinum games. I'm a huge fan of Bayonetta. Nier Automata. It's not Automata, it's Automata. Nier Automata is one of my favourite games ever, even if I can't pronounce the name correctly, which I will probably play on the stream at some point. There's definitely some Cyberpunk Book Club fun to be had with that game. But so I'm used to how Platinum's character action games go, and I'm not awful at them. I can beat them on normal in pretty much every case. There's some scenes in some of the previous games that I've struggled with, but largely it's I played a little bit of Platinum Standard, assuming that would be like everybody else's normal if you're used to Platinum games, and then casual is for the people who are not used to playing Platinum games at all. And the game kicked my ass, which, fine, that's fair. I'm not necessarily especially good at games. However, because this is a Cyberpunk Book Club, not a Cyberpunk watch Nathan lose at a video game for 3 hours, I'm going to be playing this on casual just so we can kind of make our way through the fights and the bits that could imminently kill me, and then we can kind of explore the narrative side of the game a little better. So that is why the game will be a little easier than the people who are currently probably working on their speed runs. Barry the Great, who is a friend of mine in real life, I do believe they're just Barry the Great on Twitch, I think has finished working their way through their first blind playthrough of the game, and they enjoyed it immensely, and I'm pretty sure those restreams are up for those who want to go and see somebody who is quite competent at a video game work their way through, but we will do our best. Right, so we have our drink, we have our Switch controller. And we are going to move to gameplay footage, I think. There we go. We have... Oh no! It still says Chill Stream Mega Man Battle Network 2. That was what I was doing last time I streamed. I'm gonna have to change that. Give me a second. There we go. Classy. Like, no one ever knew that it would be anything different. Perfect. Right. Get going. I realise that I'm going to have to turn down the volume a little bit on my side so you don't hear the game audio twice. It means that I don't get the kick-ass music in the game, unfortunately. But you guys do. Please absolutely let me know if the game audio is off at all. And we'll make sure that is all balanced. I know that my voice is coming through okay, or at least I hope it is. Otherwise, that introduction would have been very, very awkward. Right. a casual playthrough as Caster, as in the Neon Caster. Oh, the loading times are actually a little long in this game, initially anyway. So, this is Caster. I've decided to go and play as the female lead in this game. Not really that there's much difference. The hairstyles are pretty miserable, regardless of who you're playing as. But hey, neon pink hair. We always love neon pink hair. Gotta feel like an anime girl. But yeah, this is like a simplified, just to go and run over the mechanics really quickly while we're in a position where we're not being harassed at the same time. This is a platinum character action game, but the combat is relatively simplified. So instead of there being like weak and heavy attacks, there's just the one attack on the Y button. The combo is quite long. You can also switch to a gun, which also has combat chains to do. I do believe you can unlock bigger combos, but I don't know how to do that yet. The game is not explained. You can also summon your stand. Yeah, Sword Boy. You can move him around, and he can attack things for you, and he's just generally really good. What a good boy on a yo-yo string. There's also a little meter that tells you how long you can have your stand / legion out. If it runs too long, they disappear. If they take damage, that goes down by a lot. So you'll have to also keep an eye out for the status of your legion. There is also a dodge roll function. Not that I can do that because I'm now outside of combat scenario. But yeah, we're in a position where we can wander around the base right now and kind of talk to the various people. Which, I guess we're in a position now that since, at least in the circumstances where the characters aren't voice acted, I can probably do the character voices. We'll think about that. We'll think about that. But for now, let's go and start the first mission and then explore the police station.
You're late, newbie.
See, her hair is awesome. I
Now
wish
that
we could get
everyone's
that
here,
kind of hair.
Let's begin. The police in Central City, in Zone 36, have requested our help with a case. About an hour ago, an unusually large number of gates opened up along Grand Avenue. A lot of gates means a lot of redshift. The local police are doing the best they can to handle the aberrations.
So,
But again, we're looking at way more gates than usual. To say they have their hands full is an understatement. Gates don't just appear like this without a chimera around somewhere. Not in these numbers.
a lot of this is easy enough getting
There are
from
only
context.
5 people on the Ark who stand a chance against chimeras.
Yes,
They're all in
the
this
aliens are appearing through dimensional gates, as it were.
That's why the regular
They
police
corrupt
need
the
your
places
help.
that they appear in.
Get out there,
It seems that
find
these
the
gates are very
chimera, and
difficult
take
to
it
close.
down.
So this particular police force go
I'll
in
let the
to
captain
handle
fill you
that.
in on the
Also,
operational
wow,
parameters.
look at that police riot gear.
Roger.
Interestingly enough,
We don't know what this
I'm
chimera
yet to
is
see any of
capable
them be
yet.
equipped with
You'll
like a
have your
standard
legions with
style
you,
riot
but
shield.
still, keep your
Maybe
guard up.
that's not kind of like anime combat enough. Oh, look at the brother,
But
by
don't
the way,
forget, we
in the
can't
fact
risk
that
letting
they
any
match
of
my
you go
skin
through the gate
tone,
after it either.
but still
Do whatever you can on
have
this side,
incredibly
okay?
not believably black anime hair. Which,
That is all.
sure.
Neuron. Move out.
Roger.
The brother, as I believe, is named Akira. This character would also be named Akira if I was playing as the male lead. Good luck. We'll catch up when you get back. The others should already be on the roof. Go and get going! And we have our stern police chief, Yosef. This will be your first mission as an official member of Neuron. Expect nothing short of excellence. Yes, Akira and I are twins. who are orphan twins, who have been taken on by the really grizzled-looking dude in the front of that group of people, Max. So he's our like father figure, which probably means he's gonna die horribly at some point. Hi there, I'm K-Watts. I handle anti-chimera measures. It keeps me chained to this desk, so if you can bring me any useful data from the real world, I'd appreciate it. I wonder if this is the kind of game that has side missions, so here's a little patch. Interestingly enough, this is a hairstyle that I can get, so maybe all these characters are like built from the same kind of identikit that I am. Good to meet you. I'm Richard Morgan. Ever since I joined Neuron, I've been able to learn about and study chimeras firsthand. Well, almost at least. Of course, I'm very interested in your legion. And so on. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be formally introduced to everybody as we go. There's also vending machines that we can buy items from. Hey there! You look like a new face. I'm Avery Powell. Nice to meet you. Hey, you seem kind of down. But don't worry, I know just the thing. A special drink from a vendor 3's just the pick-me-up you need. Drink up and up and up until you're full of pep. Oh, cool. So not only is she a cop, she's also free advertising. Great. Although this is a way of buying recovery items.
What can I do for you today? Remember, everything in moderation.
Okay, let's go buy some stuff. Microflow data stew that boosts energy refill for 1 minute. Cool. How much cash do I have? I have a fair amount. About 2 of those. Boost defense. I know I'm going to need that. Critical rate, prevent stun, attack, energy refill. Ah, they're like a more expensive version of the... Yeah, sure. I'd like 2 of the damage booster as well.
Thank you for shopping. Come back soon, okay?
The vending machine is polite. Although, I suppose it would probably be weird if the service industry AI was not relentlessly polite. Mike.
Hey, you're that rookie everyone's talking about, right? I'm Michael Boone, amateur zoologist.
Okay.
Call me Mike.
Why are you a police officer?
I'd love to talk Wild Kingdom with you, but no time for that. See you around.
A zoologist, huh? I wonder if that's going to matter at some point. Switching on the roof. Oh, you can click in the left-hand stick and start sprinting, which is a good way to get around. I think you can hairpin turn while sprinting as well. I have the feeling that's going to be very useful for getting out of the way of certain
everyone's here. Let's get something straight. We don't know what the hell we're gonna find out there. Okay, first things first. We'll meet up with the police and get as much info as we can. If we happen to meet our mystery chimera, you leave it to me, Alicia, and Jin. Got it. Roger.
Oh yes, Jin
Roger.
is the dude on
Hey,
the...
you
Well,
two.
in this shot.
I can't hear you.
They're covered
Jin
by
already put
my
us through
brother,
training, so I
but
thought
they
maybe we
have a
could.
cap and glasses and the general.
No way. You two are to gather information. No heroics.
Although they are, they
Captain's orders.
still have the same.
Is
They don't
that
have the same
clear?
kind of dad energy that Max does, but they're still definitely like a mental
Hey,
figure.
come on now. Maybe the captain is a teensy bit
Alicia had not
overprotective,
shown up too much in the plot
but
prior to this.
you're new.
She seems
And if you
pretty
bite off more
grounded.
than you can chew,
Love that there are,
we're all in trouble.
POC
It's the
that
right
are part
call.
of the main cast, even without me having to make a POC. I believe she's
Roger.
Latina.
Captain.
Okay, great. All right, Neuron, let's roll.
fan blade technology to work. Who knows? I am absolutely a sucker for like chunky wrist-mounted technology. If you were watching the mini stream that I had last week, last Sunday, where I was just playing a little bit of Mega Man Battle Network 3 in advance of doing a Cyberpunk Book Club version of it later on.
Let's get to work.
That kind of like retro future technology,
Listen up.
where
We've
it's
got
still
nothing to
boxy.
go on right now, except that our perp is probably a
Well,
chimera.
yeah, human is very unlikely to be able to drop a bridge like that without having to be obviously planting a load of C4. So,
If it is, we need to know as much as we can before
so
we
this is
engage.
going to be an investigative section. This is a part that I have actually already completed. The investigation segments on
You know what that
aren't
means.
too taxing.
Iris is on,
this,
people.
This has to be, you know, a
First,
combat game
let's see if
first
the
and
security
foremost. This is
cameras
just kind
caught
of like
anything
using
useful.
the engine to do other things. So we have essentially detective mode. It can glance and do predictions of various scenes. Interestingly enough, if you were here to watch any of Detroit
Do you
Become
think all these
Human,
people made it out okay?
which was a farce, let's say, but there is definitely a kind of similar run through of using computers and predictive technology to be able to solve crimes.
Looks like some cars were
Whether
crushed under the
this kind of
wreckage,
forensics
looks
is
like
even
they're all
at all
empty at the
feasible,
time.
it kind of feels like it's
Miracle, huh?
definitely something of fantasy. It looks really, really cool. The way that they've done the kind of like scan lines of this. I know that this is a thing that I can't get too close or they'll notice me, so if I put out my stand, I'll be directly here and listen to them.
I don't like it, man. I mean, who do they think they are, barging in on our scene like that?
Shh, keep your voice down. It's those guys, right? From the basement at HQ? What they call it? Neutron or something? Neuron, that's it.
Never heard of them. Whoever they are, they need to step off quick.
No argument there. Coming around our scene, questioning us like we're regular civilians. What? Someone got dragged through the gate and by a giant shadowy hand?
A clue that we have gained from listening in. Intéressant. I also like that we have this little digital notebook to be able to follow
telling
along
me.
with the other bits and pieces we're learning as we go.
Nuts. A whole lot of witnesses say they saw it, though. There's gotta be some explanation.
So, that is an interestingly quite common trope in a lot of like police procedural media. I used to be a massive fan of CSI and similar back in the day, and they do a similar thing of like specialist departments for investigations, and the standard police not liking them in their methods, which I don't know is maybe a vaguely ironic thing. It's you know, is it because the methods are dangerous? Often, yes, because these things tend to be action. But then there's that saying that the regular police are considerably more sedate and safe in how they operate, and therefore these kind of groups are the people who are dangerous and that we should be watching out for. Are we actually the bad guys, fellas? Are we actually the bad guys?
I hope none of these survivors took any corruption home with them. Otherwise, we'll be dealing with a lot of redshift.
Redshift, which is an astrophysics term about objects appearing more more red the further they get away from you. But I think in this case, it's just highlighting the instances where the aliens are corrupting people with red matter.
We call that red matter. Solid corruption. It's all around us, and thanks to the Legion, now you can see it.
Ah, yes, that's also
Your
important
Legion
to
can
note.
clean it up for you.
But
Go
this
on,
whole
try it
technology
out.
that we're using to harness aliens to fight for us also gives us the ability to see the aliens. They operate on some kind of unknown frequency or something like that, in a way where normal humans can't see them.
What do
So
we have here?
they can, however, see infected
Big
regular
one, too.
people. So
Between the size
in
and
the
the red
kind of
matter,
like prologue of the game,
we can say this
we
is
were handling members
So
of
if
the
it's a
public who
chimera
had
we're
been
after,
corrupted
on
by
the giant
this
hands.
alien red matter. And then eventually we were attacked by the aliens themselves, but we couldn't see them.
Information display.
Think you got enough clues yet?
We do have a lot of clues.
Come on back and let's...
So I wonder if this is going to be like a Phoenix Wright-esque situation where I have to prove what I've learned this time.
Iris, shut down.
There you are. Looks like you've gathered plenty of information. But let's see how well you grasp the situation. Investigative ability is important, even for Neuron. So don't expect me to go easy on you. What can you tell me about the physical characteristics of the chimera that caused this mess?
Well, we know that they have giant hands.
That's right. I know you saw that great big handprint. Big handprint,
I'm
big
going to put
hands.
the volume
So
in.
why'd the chimera come here?
There we go.
Sightseeing? Or do you have a better guess?
Why did the Chimera come here? That probably is being dragged through the gate. They were stealing people.
Right. People don't just get sucked into gates all on their own. That's a chimera's job. So that's everything we know. Now comes the hard part.
Iris, startup.
There's no doubt we're dealing with a chimera.
So now that we realise that this isn't a regular garden
Chimera
variety
with
terrorist
giant
attack,
hands shows up,
we
wrecks
need
the
to go
bridge,
and
grabs a
look into
civilian.
where this thing is. 'cause
Lucky
if they're
for
allowed
us,
to run
chimeras
loose,
tend to leave
that's
behind
bad,
tracks
yo.
that legions can find.
Iris,
Rookies,
shut down.
finding those tracks is your job. Got it? You remember the giant handprint you found? Go see if your legion can find anything over
Yes,
there.
the Legion has a tracking function. It can look at other... yeah, I also get graded for the investigation scenes. That's cool. Yes, because I am playing on casual mode and not platinum standard, even though I get my score at the end of each scene, I am not graded. Which, fine.
Use your legion
I don't
to
mind
look
being
around
graded
the
on these
giant
kind of
handprint.
things, but
Something
yeah,
ought to
it
turn
would
up.
be...
You've
Because
got the trail.
well, if it's
Now
easy,
follow
you
it.
don't need to worry about it being something that needs to be graded on. There.
Check this out.
There.
The track splits in 2 directions. Could there be more than one?
All right, looks like we'll have to split up. We'll take these, you and
Yes.
Akira follow the ones through the parking garage.
Clock shedding. I mean, that's a very convenient way to get the members of my team out of the way while I investigate this. So, the
corruption's
corruption
really bad around
that
here,
the
huh?
enemy spreads makes these kind of crystals appear, and I can gather them to not only increase my score, and I believe give bonus
Hey,
time,
if we find the
bonus
chimera,
connection time
let's take it out ourselves.
to my
That'll show
chimera,
Dad.
so I could be out for a whole additional 100 minutes. I don't know whether that's supposed to be like seconds or whatever.
You should be able to squeeze through there if you crouch.
What should that be? Never useful. I can control the chimera separately to me with the right thumbstick. This is intuitive, but still slightly fiddly all the same. I did actually have to kind of change the control scheme a few times when we started playing. The button mapping was very unlike the other Platinum games, which tend to do stuff like map dodge to break trigger, and so that not being the case, I've been very Who knows if their hands are
A
large?
chimera! Hey, look at its hands! That's gotta be the one we're after. These guys have no idea what they're in for. We've gotta take it down before someone gets hurt. What the hell is that thing? Wait, how come they can see the chimera? Their corrosion levels are super high. Is that why they can see it? Hey, look!
Exactly that.
Redshift. No
Regular
time to lose.
priests
We've got to do
corrupted.
something about this now.
Oh, you do more damage. He well, like, shit. Great.
Well, we got the chimera, but we were too late to help them. Maybe Dad was right.
So people who get
We're not-
corrupted by aliens are just dead.
Jin here. Do you copy? It sounds like a gate just opened up not far from you two.
We've notified the captain. We're on our way there too. See you soon. Try and stay out of trouble, okay?
Roger. We're heading to the gate now.
Okay, so this is going to be a chase sequence through
So that
the
chimera
city,
wasn't the target.
which is they
Hold
seem to
up.
be pretty
can't
open
leave that gate
about the
wide
fact
open
that,
like
you
let's
know,
try it
there
out.
are just general civilians around. I see. So there's actually lots of different, well, I say lots. There's a handful of different additional combat maneuvers you can do in this game that also involve the chain, with the chain, doing stuff like if an enemy is charging at you, you can extend the chain across and make them run into it like a tripwire. You can also loop the legion around the enemy with the chain, and it will pin them in place for a while. I believe there's you can do that a minimum twice before it stops working. So there's a degree of like crowd control you can do. So I'm going to make him go right this, and that technology is
There.
that tech.
That's one less
is
gate for
thing you
chimeras
can
to come
do
through.
on a regular
Okay,
too.
back to the search.
Aha.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, hold up, someone's coming. No, don't hang up, idiot. I'll just play it cool until they leave.
This is the most.
Oh yeah, hey, that's right. Thank you.
His jacket is like three-tone.
How's work treating you?
With a weird black arrow.
Oh really? Oh yeah, you don't
especially
say, huh?
suspicious. Suspicious fashion.
Hey, I know you're busy, but see that guy over there? He's got a warrant out. Do you think you could find out what he's talking about?
Well, we've already kind of established the ability to listen. Which I can definitely do. Because they can't see my region. They don't have... I forget actually what the technology is that lets you be able to see it. I know I have Iris, my kind of computer eyes that let me see what's going on.
We've heard all we need to hear. Now bring him in.
Vision. But I believe that we were able to see other aliens the moment that we were tethered to our regions. We ensnared him. I suppose that's painless as ways of detaining people without physical damage. That's pretty good. It's definitely not without physical violence. Physical violence is all sorts of things. But
great job, thank you.
I guess that's
Good
fine.
luck, chimera
I guess
hunting.
that's the fact that they obviously been in a position that is something that they would be called in for. But right, enough faffing around in this obviously destroyed plaza. Interesting though, actually, that criminal wanted to go and do some drug dealings, despite it being very obvious that it's not particularly safe to be outside right now. But then who knows? Maybe it's actually not really safe to be anywhere in the city, and at this point people are just kind of like blasé about it.
I thought our days of breaking up fights
Seems like a
were
lot
over.
of the civilians like to wear shorts and leggings.
We better stop them before someone gets hurt.
Which is not what I'd necessarily call futuristic fashion. Ah, I cannot interact. I'm sure I could hit them, but that would be a bad. Just collapsed before dazed. One shot, one kill. Well, one shot, one stun, I suppose, but
You really should be able to handle this. All right, we've got a chimera to chase.
Also, it seems that I'm not quite sure who's leading the item chests, but the item chests are definitely useful. After all, I will probably need as many of them as I can get as I continue to fight things. Obviously, there's a degree to which.
The trail leads into that wall. Looks like we'll have to wing it for a while.
So these beings clearly do not care about physical space. Despite the fact that I can obviously attack them in physical space.
Hello.
Oh.
I've got nothing to say.
It's a moody vending machine. As a space, it feels so urban environments are definitely an interesting thing. There's a mixture of it having to be set.
That looks like hard work without a legion. Let's give her a hand.
If it's an urban environment, it has to kind of make sense from the perspective of it being a place that people can explore.
You gotta show me how you did that.
It's entirely nonsensical.
Moved your hand and there it went.
But by that same dip, it still has to make sense as a piece of video game level design. So an entirely like open street isn't particularly great.
I think that was our target.
Entire
And it grabbed the civilian. Come on, hurry! Up there! Let's get it!
Oh, so the arm can extend. Oh, there's a chest over there. So this area, obviously, like you know, there's lots of things that being like individual storefronts that exist. The fact that I'm kind of like running through the fucking arcade area.
Looks like there were some stragglers. Can Chimera do this too?
This is feel like spaces that you know. What we're actually getting is interesting combat arenas. It does feel very maze-like, but I suppose in a game that is trying to give the impression of a complicated cyberpunk metropolis, an environment to move around in that's easy for the people who know where everything is, and like a nightmare for everybody else makes sense. I assume these raw materials that I can use to sell a lot of stuff with down the line. It seems that they have like street names and everything set up to a degree. So it all feels like sensible for the most part. I mean, you know, well, these are even actual full shops. Box windows. It's interesting that this place is like trying to have the simulacra of feeling like an actual place that's lived in by people, even if the attempts to do something like that. But then, who knows? We might be doing investigations down the line on that. Biggest stands of the world MTV. It's like on the DS it's a two-person combat system or one-person, two inputs or two people to control the attack system is definitely a thing that requires some juggling, and not everybody was in a position to do that effectively. And this is kind of simple. I'm sure that as I go,
focus on saving these people.
The adjustments to get effective. I will.
Look out! Here comes more.
So, oh. Earlier. Oh, that is a Is that a rare material drop? Interesting. It's like I noticed that all
This
of the
doesn't look good,
drop
but there may be more
items,
survivors
I guess
out there.
I can- Oh yeah. A little holographic.
I'll stay here
symbols
with
of, like,
them.
treasure.
You go
or
check the alleys and
medicine
see if
or
anyone
what
else
have you.
ran that way.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
catch up with you
So,
later. Go.
I'm going to be handling it from here, he says. Which probably means that it's prime time for me to get into a large amount of trouble. Abilities. So if there's ability drops, that therefore means that I can customize my character as I go, which is cool. That's good. But yeah, this, there's definitely when I guess this is probably where the multicultural thing comes in, because some of the stuff feels very kind of like American, or just kind of generically global in how the like architecture and things work. But on the other hand, we have this kind of very Kowloon, middle of Hong Kong. Actually, a bit more run down looking than the other side, maybe a little bit, but that might be just because of the alien attack rather than this place being especially closer. Definitely lots of areas to explore, although you'd wonder why they would leave. Ah, this is something that like a bigger boy. So you can definitely return to these chapters later with better stuff. I have a feeling I'll be punished if I destroy scenery and not unwittingly, or unnecessarily if I'm not fighting anybody.
Can you hear me? I'm picking up a really strong signal near your location. Keep your guard up, okay?
Interesting that the piloting of my Neuron and my camera controls are the same button, so I cannot move my guy and move the camera at the same time. Although I suppose that would make navigating even harder. Hello. Many people tuning into Cyberpunk Book Club. We are currently being ported to the internet. I mean, I was kidding, but yes. This is the big boss now. So, when I was playing this through just to play test, make sure that this controls and reflection and everything this time on Platinum Standard difficulty, and he killed me 3 times. So, I look forward to not losing to him immediately on easy difficulty, because I'm big coward back. That was one of the things I really liked about not only the ability to kind of customize the loadout, but also run! But also the instances of being able to modify attack damage and similar as I played. Nothing that, oh god. So that attack, if you get caught in it, will immediately put you on normal difficulty. This guy has one-shots, and it's garbage. So the ability to customize the loadout in that game is also a great way to that attack is huge, hit it. This boss really doesn't want to get too close with it all. I suppose it's kind of unusual for character action games. You know, there's a degree to which good play is being more opposing person. So this one's going on a while, and I'm wondering if I'm doing anything wrong necessarily. Because even on Platinum Standard, that fight took about 3 loops before the fight ended. Yeah, it was long, and I was kind of like, am I just doing this wrong? Is there a way that this could go way faster? But you don't get a lot of like combat capabilities early on, so it feels like this is just being as hard as skin of your teeth. If it makes sense. I don't know. I've been always a strong encourager of if a game's boss does its kind of like loop more than 3 times if you're playing multiplayer boss fights. Because there's a certain point where the game is trying to test to see if you understand the challenges given the way that the puzzle is trying to solve. So, by the 3rd time, you probably understood the combat mechanics. At which point the boss probably understands what you're doing. This is... He is big, strong. Big, garbage rocks. So maybe there's worth kind of exploring old cases again. Although, I must say, even though I love Bayonetta a lot, I never really actually replayed missions for score. That was not really how I operated in. I did reasonably well. I think I only got hit once, but then again, easy mode. And I know what this boss
told me
does
you
this
got pulled through the gate. I nearly lost it. It's a good thing you held it off that long. Jesus, you're gonna be the death of me, you know that?
The rescue, actually.
Well, I can't say you look good, but damn, you're tougher than I thought.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty cool line coming from someone who just damn near cried their eyes out.
I was not crying.
That line. Okay, so in the other version that I've been playing, I've played
guys,
male character.
Look around.
There's some lines of dialogue
Who'd have
that
thought the
change
gates
a little
led to
bit.
a place like this?
Femme Kira is not accused of crying upon their brother disappearing. I guess she's just a hard ass.
You ever feel like you're somewhere you're not supposed to be?
Thank God you're all alive. Jeez, I thought I'd never see any of
I
you
guess
again.
Olive is also kind of a bit of
But
a
I'm
common
glad you're all
thread
okay.
in kind of cop dramas.
Now, if you
the
set the radio
person
channel
who
from that side,
is, like,
I can
doing
get
the
through to
hacking
you.
from home,
The multi-scanner
from the
works
home
too.
base, and
The
is,
visuals
like,
are pretty
tracking
noisy, but
people and
they'll
all
do
that
in a
kind of stuff.
pinch.
Abby in NCIS? Is that it? Is that the police procedural show? They're all very similar.
So, that's it, huh?
Usually, well, no, I'm not going to say
Heads
that
up.
they're always
I'm
famous,
picking up
actually.
signs of
Depending
life
on the
right
series,
nearby.
it tends to be lots of
I
different,
can't get a read on any
a
IDs,
pretty
but I
diverse
think it
gamut.
might be
I
some
will
missing
actually
people.
say there's either a
Switch
white
on your
woman or a
iris
black
and check
guy
it out.
that's like the smart hacker.
All right,
backup
people,
person.
let's go.
Which I guess that's stereotyping. At the same time, what a role to put in. Maybe I'm just.
I can't even
begin
begin to guess
enjoys being career support and think hackers are cool.
We
that
are absolutely
to be typecast in that
uncharted
kind of way isn't necessarily miserable.
If we're
or
freaked
maybe
out,
easily
think of how those
predictable.
civilians must
There are definitely
feel.
worse stereotypes that
Time to gut it
could
out,
be
people.
cast in the roles of stuff like police procedurals, like criminal. But for now, let's have cyber radiation heart attacks, I think. Ooh, I can't run. Well, this is as fast as I can run.
Listen, that heavy feeling, that's a symptom of redshift. Not to scare you, but all of your corruption levels have been steadily climbing since you went through the gate.
Access treasure chest.
None of you are in the danger zone yet. Maybe you have the legions to thank for that. Still,
Yeah, it's
worst
kind of
case
interesting
scenario,
that these are, like,
you might find your
gems,
legion
and
sync
that's
levels
damage
dropping
rolls
dangerously
and
low.
such, yeah.
Check on those biosignals, then get out of there as fast as you can. I'll keep an eye out for a gate you can use.
Got it. Thanks. All right, kids. You are the lady. Let's not hang around any longer than we have to.
I don't know if you can hear my Joy-Cons going crazy every time I pick up some gems. Yeah, I see that this stone has a very kind of like
Look, over
bismuth
there. I see someone.
kind of
They
way
look
that
hurt.
everything's being put together. Or like the weird moon stones rocks in like Super Mario Odyssey.
Neither of them have any
The
major
ultimate
injuries.
crossover.
Olive, I'm sending you my scan. Can you get a read on their corruption levels?
Just a sec. One's at 5.18, the other's 4.86. They're still below the chimerification
Interesting.
threshold.
So there's like a specific
If you get
radiation
them out
level
quick,
at which
we
point
can
you
save
convert
them.
into a
Great,
alien
let's get out of here.
zombie.
Olive, where's that gate?
And
I can't find anything.
even though these
There's
people
too much
are kidnapped,
dimensional
they're
distortion in the
not,
vicinity. You're going to have to go
like,
back
it's
to where
not
you
an-
fought that
it's
chimera.
not at an accelerated rate. Like what has to happen to you before the radiation is high enough where you convert? Because we've definitely seen just ordinary people. Well, actually, a lot of the people that have been converted are like cops. So I suppose they've been more exposed to the radiation since they're trying to fight whatever alien menaces show up. But also it seems to be
Where the
established
hell
that we're
did
the
they
only people
come
that can
from?
deal with it sensibly, so I'm not even sure what's up with that. Hopefully that'll be explored.
This is bad. We're almost out of time.
Akira. You keep everyone safe, okay? You come with me. Let's take these bastards out.
Well, they are definitely
Let's
people
go.
that we fought before. Ooh.
Shit! Just a little more! Almost!
Ah, yeah, there we go. Okay. strong for our like alien container devices, which makes sense. I suppose this is kind of like, our aliens are powered on alien radiation. Let's jump into alien radiation zone. It'll be perfectly healthy. It does definitely seem like they've never been into the space before. I wonder how long you guys been. Forcibly summoned by Persona. And then made it evil? Is that And so we're already getting like a weird, well not weird, but like a fight between
What's going on? Commander?
Olive, the override release
slave.
command.
It really
Hurry.
feels like slave. There's not been very much in the game so far that would suggest that
No
they're
use.
anything
The
other than
override release isn't going through.
But then
That's
in early
impossible.
days, who knows? Maybe these aliens get Stockholm syndrome except now they want emancipation. Oh boy. Which would suggest that they don't like actually. This is about as far as I got in the Platinum Standard version. This sequence is also quite long, and you have to play all of them. I'm not quite sure at what point you stop, or if there's a way to prevent. Maybe I should have done the Astral Chain and Snare move to stop them. Is that what? Who knows? Maybe I just
Sword Nemesis.
love that his stats are corrupted because he's like outside of our control now. That's neat. Okay.
This is
Fine.
an unprecedented situation. Perhaps the environment beyond the gates has caused some aberration in the Legion cores.
We can't hold up much longer! Olive! Commander! Do something!
Commander, there's gotta be something we can do to save them.
Do something now! Try setting your legatus to mode C. You may be able to recapture them.
How do we do that?
You'll have to weaken the legions first. Though I suppose that's easier said than done.
Well, if you don't have any other ideas, looks like that's our only option.
Very hard to dodge. There we go. Oh, it didn't knock him into the air. But, it apparently did enough damage to revive. This is the kind of animated shit that, it's not just about the technology, it's about the wills of our souls, kind of like, although, you know, they aren't actually putting how we brought together by the fact that this is breaking through to their sense of nature, or is this just kind of making sure that they fall within our control? There's an instance where you gain blue hair in a moment of emotional start the game. It's not explain why that's a thing.
What the hell's with your hair? It's just like before.
Well, what's going on?
The Legion sync rate it's off the charts.
A true Legionis. Yes. Wonderful.
Whatever's going on, now's our best chance. Gotta do this while they're distracted. Get those civilians to safety, now! Jin, Alicia, go! Roger! Akira! Let's back up Jin and Alicia and find us a way out of here! Come on! Yes, sir!
Oh, they attacked a number of times. And that ends with an up slash. Did not sell it. Hey! Oh, so now it's all of them at once. Cool. Good. I hate this. Help. Oh, okay. Right. So, they all attack at once. It's now ulti at the same time. Is that badass? Interestingly, you probably noticed after Bayonetta and the Automata, both Bayonetta and PvD have really long acrobatic dodges. You can get a kind of acrobatic dodge if you're sprinting in this, but most of your dodges are like backsteps rather than actual full acrobatic dodge maneuver. There is a counterkick system against that if you dodge in the last second of the attack, you do a melee combo that knocks them airborne, which chain jump. So I can pull myself to locations. This is unwieldy. Oh! Okay, we did it. I noticed that my nightstick trebled in length. I wonder if elaborate why that's Brother, just use L2 and Y. It's all good. That is a really cool shot. That is a really cool shot. I mean, you would expect on Platinum to kind of crush that kind of cinematography. Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. None of you actually managed to regain your personas. Flying back into this strange...
I'll keep him busy. Listen to me. We don't have time. The Legions are the very last hope humanity's got. And today, we lost all of them. Except yours. We can't risk losing that too.
Captain, let me help you!
Jin!
We may be getting this clear soon. Pixi is a good friend of mine. She is a considered successful streamer that she streams almost daily, actually. She's very dedicated. It turns out that she might be free to join the call. So I will be...
Jin, what are you... Let me go! Let me go! Dad! Dad!
Don't worry. I'll be back. I promise. Go. And remember what happened here. It'll make you stronger. You're the one who's gotta save the world now. But for now, just do me one favor.
Shoot bullets out the air. Yo, friend. It's Stone Cold Badass.
Your brother. Akira.
The anime mentor.
Keep him safe.
The melodrama is key. It's peak.
Do that for me.
Such a noble sacrifice. And then we log out of cyberspace. Which, this is a very cool transition, but it reminds me very, very strongly of Mega Man Battle Network.
Let me go!
Akira! Do you want to lose the captain for nothing?
Of course, this now means that part of this is going to be getting strong enough to return to the Hell Bismuth realm and find our dad once again, who then may or may not be horribly corrupted with alien red matter, and then he'll be like us in that he'll have the same kind of combat moves that we do, except he's our father and we still have to beat him up. I'm calling that shot right now. That was a very long opening chapter, considering I missed a fight. I wonder what that was. Considering it's the opening chapter and considering I knew what I was supposed to be doing, that actually ran quite a way. Health and duty rewards have increased. I get more information on the people I scan, the better rank I am. So at like maximum rank, am I like a proper panopticon kind of thing? Can I just see everybody's personal details? Because that's a lot. Oh, and I can change the playstyle with every chapter. So if I manage to scrape my way through with if I scrape my way through with a minimal amount of health or find it too hard, I can knock it back down to easy. That makes sense. I do wonder that if I keep playing to the point where I get some solid items and I can actually hold my own and have reasonable damage output, whether if then changing back to like standard mode is like a sensible option. No, terrorism is afoot. There's a very short cold open. Well, that seems to be Olivia. That's the nose. No, it's not Olivia. It's a different.
Are you awake?
Lady. Medical officer. Okay, that makes sense. I get my ass kicked. Get my ass kicked.
You
on a
fell
regular basis.
unconscious the moment you came back through the gate. You've been asleep for 3 days. Your body's been through a lot of changes. But none of your lab work turned up anything you should be worried about.
So I guess I am now part alien.
No major external injuries
in a way
either.
That hasn't horribly corrupted me, but means I am better at fighting them than before.
I'd suggest going to the command room. The commander wants to speak with you.
Is this master-slave relationship actually a symbiotic one?
But try to keep moving forward, okay?
But hey, plot crest, and I'm back in the regular base. Since I clearly got my limb pulled from limb at the moment, maybe they're going to assign me something a little less dramatic, so we can do a little bit of policing, maybe? Because, I don't know, obviously, as a character action game, fighting aliens should be my primary goal, function, or what have you, but I don't know, I'm banking on the setup of us, being police officers to kind of pay off in a way narratively more than just justifying my ability to run around cities with a nightstick and handcuffs. How you doing? To see her on your feet again. Where are you about? The commander has something to tell you. Oh, that sounds bad. Ominous. Ooh, I'm quiet. Hi, Pixi. It's good to see you.
You gave us all
the music is
quite
thick.
a surprise back
Gosh, I will turn the music back down and turn myself back up a little bit. I am also sitting a little further away from the mic than I normally am to be able to see the screen a little better. Hopefully, I have not been just kind of like mumbling too terribly for the last while. Hopefully this is audible.
I don't imagine the timing is a coincidence.
Also, hi, hello. How are you?
They hit the Legion production facility the hardest. It will be months before it's operational again. You understand where this is going. Your Legion
I wonder if there's a way to
the
kind of
only
turn
one
off the
that we have
notifications of my friends list, although it's not too
Naturally,
important.
We can't expect any sympathy from the
You'd need a friend
chimeras.
code to add them anyway,
Their
right?
attacks will only get worse. So, at least until Legion production resumes, I'm restructuring our task force with you at the center.
Mm-hmm.
But the new structure is a simple one. All other Neuron officers are now chiefly tasked with supporting you.
So, as
Of
the
course,
only
you'll
person
all be
left
working
to be
with the
able
conventional
to
police to dispose of
fight
aberrations and
aliens,
gates,
I am
as
now
usual.
Chief of Command, which is interesting, going from a state of being a pure rookie to basically no one woman should have all that power, hashtag Kanye West.
I saw what you can do. Up until now,
But then that too is anime, right? The neophyte joining a community full of bold personalities, and it turns out that they are preternaturally stronger or more able to do the one specific thing better than a lot of the other people who have been established there for years.
you can control it as easily as your own
But we are in psychological and neurological harmony. Interesting.
as strong as a chimera.
One of the things they do actually say at the start of the game, when they introduce the idea of the legions that you get that linked with, is that you get to control them. It feels like you're controlling an additional limb. So there is a lot of drift compatible nature to the fact that you have this alien robot pet.
Stand a chance against the two of you. It is a heavy response. There's a special program in the training room that I think will
A
have
special
it
program in
prepared
the
in
training
case
room.
someone
So
like
the
you
training room is actually partially
It
why
should
I
help
ended
you
up
get used to
skipping
your newfound strength.
the opening hour of the
Unlocking the
game,
terminal in
because
the
it takes you through a whole kind of tutorial experience, and I was kind of like, well, the tutorial experience really isn't the exact same thing as exploring the narrative of the game, huh? So I took the time to skip that, but I'm actually even heading the right way to the left. I am. Okay. Alan. Hi, Alan. Who? Well, I haven't seen Marie, and I suppose it's a side quest, but you seem like a jerk, so I'm not going to help you. Also, the lifts are out of order, so I guess it's a different way to the goal. Oh, I can use the minus key to be able to... Well, there's a PC to interact with there, so maybe that's the other lifts are also at the other end. That is not lifts. Fair enough. Good, good. I'm glad you're well, Pixi. I didn't use up many of the items that I purchased last time, so I don't need to go restock. Telford! I guess this is a PR gig that you were on. Pixi, when not streaming, does PR for a various number of entertainment companies. Least of all, the Big N. Oh. I am enjoying the game. I think. Oh, there is Marie. Oh well, I guess that was the setup and payoff of who Marie was. I guess coming to this perspective of wanting a narrative game more than to kick robots in the face, it has been a little slow from the narrative perspective, and from the kind of character action perspective, it ended up being harder than I was expecting, or harder for me to get into than expecting. Well, if it was costume character stuff, maybe you'll be doing a Lappy the police dog cosplay at some point. I love that this police dog is also a lap dog. That's great. I'm not quite sure whether that pun is supposed to be intentional or not.
You got it. Giving you the inside scoop on your new home here at So what do you say, partner? Ready to learn a few new tricks?
No.
Oh? You're already too busy with your brand new job? Oh, speaking of jobs, I just remembered I've still got a whole mountain of
Good.
paperwork to file today.
Leave.
I mean, cars to chase. A whole mountain of cars to chase.
I mean, okay. I suppose there's a degree to which, when you are a mascot character, you are forced to maintain character. After all, you are a brand, and embodying that brand through and through is the most important thing you can be. But then also, so is not being seen as the person who's inside the... What places here? Oh, I can jump to places. Okay, cool. Not being seen as the person inside the mascot. So Marie has already failed that. They are bad at their job.
You'll be back in a jiff, partner. Enjoy.
Although they can definitely run really quickly, considering. So yeah, let's try out this new combat program or whatever.
Congrats on becoming a Legionist. Not just anyone can do it, you know.
So she voice acts the mascot in all areas.
Special program courtesy of the commander. Choose a training program, partner.
I see. There is new stuff, new combos for me to do. Okay. Sync attacks is a new thing, so let's go and try that out. Oh.
Okay, partner. Let's start the program.
During a combo, your Legatus might flash. Press ZL to perform a sync attack.
The sync attack is a special dual attack with both you and your legion. While you and your legion are fighting an enemy, keep an eye out for a bright
And your
flash.
Joy-Cons also rumble to give you an
You
additional
give your
hint that it's a
legion
thing
an
that you can do to
order
combo.
right then. The two burst. Try a string of regular attacks. When you do, send in your
Okay. Yeah. At the end of the last sequence, there was a point where we go into this super mode where I have blue hair, and my Joy-Con was vibrating during various instances. I'm like, why? I noticed that one of them is a counter hit, so when you get knocked away upon hitting a wall or the floor, you can tap the dodge roll and quick get up with a counter attack. You can be counted out of that counter attack, so I guess it's making sure you time that right. But
Okay, partner. Let's start the program.
slash stance. Oh right, yes. This is the sword Legion's special move, which I did a little bit previously. So every Legion has its own like super move, which can be used in both puzzle solving and to do various tasks. I know that from like the trailer, once you get the Archer Legion, there's like a bullet time switch shooting that you have to do.
Let's try a chimera attacks are a kind of current too. The right timing. You can chimeras are pretty fast, so you'll have to give it a shot.
Okay. Aw. I see. Oh, but your meter drains really fast when you do that. Okay. So. Am I timing that right? Maybe I did that. Who knows? Oh, there we go.
That was great. A counter slash could be just
having to tap in the right stick to focus is a bit fiddly, but interesting.
The Sword Legion slash is lightning quick. Take a look at those two objects in front of you there. These are simulations of astral matter, straight from the astral plane. They react to Legion attacks, but not if you just figured it out yet.
You hit both of them once, so the Sword Legion's attack can go and hit both of these things at once, so we're going to hit that, and then not Y, you can hit X, and then you can use the control stick to set the angle.
Fantastic, partner.
Makes sense. All of that makes sense.
We don't So, if you come across it in the astral plane, try it out and let us know what happens.
Let me know if you need Pixi, if you want to kind of join the call, how to go and get the screen share and stuff working on our side as well, the on-air channel. And Phantom Arts Entertainment is how I'm doing my voice chat at the moment. Chain jump attack is a new thing, so let's go and look at this. Send a legion at a target and immediately chain jump to perform a chain jump attack using the momentum. I see. Cool.
You can even use chain jumps to attack. Send your legion out towards enemies that are up high or far away. You'll rock it to keep swinging after you land. Sounds easy, right?
Okay. So lock on. Yes, because and then you can do air combos. Okay, that's pretty cool. There's been instances where I have finished combos that knock enemies quite far away. For example, the chain counter, where you make the tripwire and fling them across the room. So, being able to then quickly follow up on...
Remember how you scooped the chain around a pillar before? Now try it with an enemy instead. You'll hit them while you fly through the air. Hook your chain around a bunch of enemies and give them all a knock on the nose.
And then I can hit Y. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Because you can get surrounded super easily, I've noticed.
That's all for this program.
Cool. End training. There we go.
See you soon. Oh yeah, I sent you a Legatus. We've added a whole new special.
Looks like you've got the hang of your...
Hi, hello. Good evening, Pixi. You are currently muted.
Hi, sorry, I was trying to make sure I could see the video.
Oh, sure. I'll tell you how to see the video. If you click on the on-air chat channel for me, please, and there is a URL there. If you click that, that will start screen share.
That's the one.
Yeah, for some reason Discord doesn't let you do screen share while inside a server, so I had to cheat to be able to do it, but it's working now. How are you, my dear?
I am all over the place. It's always busy.
No, I feel that. It is hectic at work too, so...
Oh my God. It's good that you're actually streaming.
I mean, you know, when Astral Chain came out, I was kind of like, oh no, this absolutely has to be an episode of Cyberpunk Book Club. It is the perfect storm of enjoying Platinum games and enjoying Cyberpunk games. And I don't know, I'm really interested to see how this game discusses being police. It feels like a thing that can't be entirely ignored.
Okay.
I don't know. I know that the like culturally, Japan's general perspective of the police is somewhat nicer than say the UK or the US. But they are, you know, it's a global brand. They're aware that they're releasing it in other countries. So I wonder if they've put any kind of thought into the fact that I get to run around with a nightstick in the middle of the city and what that means and what I can get away with doing because I am a cop.
Well, it's like playing State of Emergency or one of those other games where you run around with people, but I guess you're not police. Oh, do you remember on the PSP there was a police game Although granted, you were kind of confined to places. You weren't really allowed to run around outside. But there was a police game where you're kind of jumping in and out of cars, jumping on
yeah,
things.
there's a couple of games out there where, like Sleeping Dogs, for example. I think you're actually a member of the police. But oh Jesus,
that's a better example.
Surprise dog. Yeah, there are a handful of games where you play as a police officer, and they you know, it's a hero fantasy in a way, right? Where it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm empowered to be able to help people, and I'm able to use the force that's required to do it. And in the same way that, you know, a lot of like first-person shooters, like army simulators, have that same kind of energy.
Yeah,
but as
but
as far as I understand, in Japan, the perspective of the police is very much more of like a hero kind of image. Because, you know, they have their perspectives of superheroes are very specific. The whole kind of like tokusatsu, Power Ranger kind of vibe. And policemen embody that a little bit for the community, as far as I'm aware.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had something like that. We've got a completely different view of them over here. It's kind of like you're half skeptical. But you shouldn't be. It's like they're their own gang. It shouldn't be like that, but
yeah, that's the way it unfortunately be sometimes. But yeah, so I don't know. It's an interesting discussion, especially since in Cyberpunk games, it's pretty common for you to be a criminal and not the police.
You're one of the newbies.
Yeah, you are. It's very, very rare that you are part of the establishment or part of law enforcement. So the fact that it's like from the other side is quite interesting. I can buy to power up my Legion. I can buy grenades. That sounds risky. Let's not do that.
might be fun.
I can go and buy one or two. It seems that the game kind of cares about how your item use, but then all the platinum games are like that, right? You're like, oh, you use items, you chump. So I wonder.
Yeah. Did you ever play? I know it's a slightly different game, not necessarily Cyberpunk, but just out of curiosity, did you ever play Deadly Premonitions?
I play. Oh, this is a dog not gonna let me leave. I did play a little bit of.
Where you going? Come on now, Tabitha's waiting
Upgrade my
on you.
X-Bat. Fine. God. Yes, I did play Deadly Premonition a little bit. A friend in university had a copy. And you know, it was like a really weird Twin Peaks simulator thing. It was really interesting. The combat in it was awful. Like it had those really extended scenes where you had to slowly shoot zombies, and it's like, this is definitely not the interesting part of this game. But it definitely had charm. Gosh.
Oh yeah, with the broken animations on the face.
All right.
Like, you know,
That material code
that
should do it.
creepiness was perfect.
Yeah.
I heard that they're making a second one, and I kind of hope that they keep that disgustingness there, because that's what makes it.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's going to be part of the charm. Swery, the guy who's like the director for the series, is definitely into that kind of thing. The idea of having games have a weird punk charm to them.
Good man. Gotta make things not all be the same. Otherwise, what's the point, eh?
But yeah. No, I definitely want to play Deadly Premonition 2. I need to at some point, because I've never actually watched Twin Peaks, and it's something that's part of the inspiration of those games. So I'm kind of like, I should definitely go and watch some of that so I could be better informed about the atmosphere. I don't know.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was based off that either.
Yeah. No, it's very, very similar in terms of the a government agent goes to a small sleepy town, has weird dreams and visions to be able to discern the nature of the case, the kind of like oddball characters in the sleepy town, that kind of thing. Expert on mode. It's weapon switching. slow but powerful. Okay. Give off data, which is then... so hitting enemies also recharges my stand gauge. Gotcha.
There. Now you can use your Expaton's
Oh, speaking of
I forget, have you played many other Platinum games before?
That camera should have all the upgrades. I even threw in a data card for free, so you can start using it right away.
I feel like what other games have they made?
They made those. They made Nier Automata.
No.
They did a handful of really jank licensed games. They made Avatar: Legend of Korra, a Transformers, and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, and all of them were not great. But I suppose it's like other companies paying them to quickly make a game rather than them, like, you know, going into the lab for a couple years and then coming out with a game that they're fully built themselves.
Fair enough. So it's like, yeah, I can do this, but you know, it's gonna be like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay. They also, a lot of the people who formed Platinum in its early days were the people who were part of Clover Studios, who made Beautiful Joe and Okami.
Okay.
Oh, I have to take a photo.
Oh no, of course that makes sense because Bayonetta's dog form is that, isn't it?
It's why your ascending kick in Bayonetta is Red Hot Kick, because it's Beautiful Joe's move.
So yeah, looks like it works. A go-go, baby.
Okay, partner. See you.
It's all about them references.
Oh yeah.
What have you been playing lately? I've been watching you play Citizens of Earth, which has been interesting to watch you play.
I absolutely but oh, is she talking right now?
No, it's fine. It's not voiced.
Oh, it's so cute. I've not played Citizens of Earth yet. I went straight to Citizens of Space.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
They look I like the way. Well, the first one's definitely based off Mother, I guess. Like,
it's very an Earthbound kind of deal, and Citizens of Space is more like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, or like Paper Mario.
I really like it, and the voice acting makes me love Sweetie so much. He's such a dumb man. He knows it.
Oh
and
gosh, yes.
Oh, he's so precious, though. So precious. But so far I've been playing that. A game called We Are Revolution on the Switch, which is like Ace Attorney, except for you're the judge.
Oh.
And you get to decide. Well, you look at your evidence. You have to gather information based on what's happened on the person who's being put to trial. You've got the jury. What the jury believes the verdict should be.
And you have to make hard decisions yourself. Ooh, your family have
got your family. And what they want, and each of them want a particular thing, which also goes towards the revolution, or if people are rebelling or something, and then you've got consequences to your actions, and then of course, based on what you find, you either judge them to be released, go to prison, or be executed.
Oh, okay, that is an option. This feels very Papers, Please in terms of energy. That same kind of difficult moral choices kind of deal.
Oh my, absolutely. I had made a choice to which I didn't foresee that it could go the way that it went. And now it's like, oh, well, now he's looking to me to be like, well, he said that I could. And it's like, yes, but I... Because if you say, well, yeah, you're right, I'm going to let you go, then suddenly nobody's going to trust you, and that's going to make there be lots of issues, and then your family won't like you, and then it's like, oh my god, it's good.
You've got to choose the differences between what's right and what's popular, I suppose.
Yes. And the line is hard, because you think you're doing the right thing until you see there doesn't seem to be any real right or wrong. No matter what you do, there's an equal and opposite consequence, and it's tough. but I think you might enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm usually down for there's so many jump scares of this gosh darn dog, Jesus.
I know, right?
This is all tutorial, by the way, nothing actually important is happening.
Have you just started?
I skipped the initial hour. It's because the opening was not, you know, actually doing a case. It was just preamble about how I get my stand alien robot. So I wanted to start at the point where we actually go on a case. But after that, they're doing the rest of the tutorial. And I suppose that's probably better than them having done all of the cop tutorial like at the start for like 2 hours. Oh, I can change the color.
Nice.
I have not unlocked any other colors. Okay. Fine.
Oh, I'm really sorry to have to pop, but this honey and salt is dripping down my face and onto my leg.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna have to take it off. I will pop back.
Yes, escape. I will see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Later. Maintenance. I see. I can like clean the corruption off my stand. How strange. I guess so. There's a handful of games that do this. I remember there's an obscure DS game called Custom Robo Arena, where it's how you'd expect you go and fight with your customized robot. But it gets like dirty in between fights, and if you go too long without cleaning them, the efficiency of the thing drops. So you've got to actually like continue to maintenance your fighting robot in between. So it grants a sync attack after a perfect dodge. Cool. Administer. Legion defense, attack power. Attack power. Perfect call. Activated before. Ah, I can counterattack just as I'm being hit. That seems very good. I see. So these are all things that I can understand how the game is a little a way that you can actually kind of become quite powerful now, because you start off quite underpowered, I think, when you start, which is, you know, you get used to. It's how it teaches you all this stuff as you go. But power charge. Someone's blade slips and revolve around. Okay. Can I still afford this? No. I need to do some more fighting enemies. Assign skills. Ah, I see. Abilities. Call lock. Stops energy loss for... Ooh, I see. So you can unlock additional programs to augment your legion. I see. Okay, okay. This is cool. I like these kind of customizable functions. And this is like my achievements menu or whatever. Okay.
I'm Bark, partner! Whoa, I'm Marie Went. Lappy told me so much about you, I feel like I know you. Look, I know you're really busy. Oh, I can't say it out here. Let's meet somewhere more whenever you're ready, but...
I'm glad that I can visit the bathroom in this video game.
This is the restroom. It's for everyone, so make sure. Oh, by the way, Shizu says there's some kind of. Oh, I'm sure she's just. Suddenly, I feel the need to go.
Is there a thing I get from? And they just vanish. Ominous. Use... maybe later. I'm good. I can change my outfit in the game. That makes sense.
This here's the Neuron locker. You can try nothing like a little sometime.
Yeah, can we take this dog out?
Yeah, this tutorial dog is a little chatty.
Like, I think we can kill this one. Just put it down. Just put the dog down.
Oh, great. A Lappy badge.
Hell no, we don't need this in our lives.
But yeah, this is the, I guess, I can change my skin color from my locker. Good.
This sounds like Hitman. Oh, you go in, you change costume, and apparently, yeah, you're like, oh, you know, this person was black before. I'm now I'm bald and white. It's all good. No one will know.
I can change individual. I can change individual parts of my outfit, which is nice. I can wear a police cap now. I can remove my tie.
Oh, I didn't know you were wearing one.
Yeah. Ah, so I can choose what my because the chest plate that you normally get is makes sense. It's like futuristic riot gear, not particularly fashion. But I can wear this. Does this mean I can wear absolutely like actual sensible trousers rather than these like combat booty shorts that she wears?
Booty shorts.
Oh, I can wear tights. I see.
No, you still need to see the booty. What do the men get? Do the men get shorts? Because I feel like that'd be the only reason why I buy it now.
No, the men wear full trousers.
No, I'm sorry. Not in my world. No.
But, yep, no, I now look vaguely like a gendarme, I guess. Nice. I need to go to the garage to continue to speak to the dog. Or at least the, pilot. The pilot of the dog? What would be when you're mascot? When you're mascotting, when you're embodying a mascot. What role are you? Are you like a pilot, an actor?
Artist.
Artist, there we go. Interesting. Because I know that I've seen you a handful of times as Pikachu. You're actually, years ago, are you... Oh, secrets. I see. You're not. There is a degree of not talking about the roles that you've been in. Fair enough.
It's okay.
Interesting.
Keeping the veil of secrecy and making sure I don't get fired.
That's fair. Yeah. That is very, very fair.
I saw her coming down. Speak now. You of all.
Although I would be very, very impressed if I managed to kind of get the kind of audience share that would include company CEOs or at least company like branding managers at this level of my career.
Look.
I understand the hustle. Don't get me wrong.
Remember, I've got an ESPN guy on my channel. You don't know. You don't know where the people are coming from. I'm like, eyes everywhere. Eyes everywhere. The freak out is real. Although, on the matter of Pokemon, or will you be coming to the pop-up shop though?
Yes, I will. So in October, I will be at EGX. Rezzed. I think it's a Rezzed rather than regular EGX. I'm going to be doing a piece of stage work at that. So, but that's like on the Sunday, and I'm obviously going to be coming down for like the weekend. So it would mean that my Saturday will be open to buy nerd stuff.
Yay! Take lots of money.
Do you have? I was going to say, do you have insight on the things that are going to be on sale? But I suppose you would be able to talk about that on air, which is fair.
Nope. But all I know is that I'm sure a lot of us will be buying multiples of things. I don't think. I hope they have enough stock because half of it will go on day one.
That's true. That's true. And I'm definitely not going to be there on day one.
Take your time.
Well, I mean, if I suppose, I recently, I was a sensible adult, and actually went and purchased my like under 30 rail card thing. Yeah, I was relying on my under 25 rail card for so long, and then I became old.
Well, somebody told me that there's a 27 to 30.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey.
It used to be kind of locked to specific postcodes, and now it is generally available. So I was kind of like, okay, now is a very good time to go and get hold of that, so I could actually maybe travel back to London with anything resembling regularity.
Oh wow.
Because
it's called the Millennial Rail Card?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I mean, it's accurate.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Getting lumped in?
Yeah. No, I am by definition a millennial.
Oh my god. But do we want to be associated with what people associate that with?
I mean, the people that kind of have bad things to say about millennials are usually kind of old white guys who got funded really early on and were able to kind of meet success in a better economy than the one we have now. So, yeah. something bootstraps, and I don't really care about what those kind of people think, to be fair.
What now? If it's about the cat,
you know, I'm sure that if I displayed my, showed like a rail conductor my millennial rail card, and they were like, "Oh, so you're a millennial," be like, "Yeah." Actually, that would be delightful. The idea of a train conductor starting something, just causing ruckus on this train to like King's Cross. Absolutely.
Could you imagine? Oh my god.
But yes, after about an hour, we finally get to do some police work.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 30? Okay. I'm looking at it because I was supposed to get it done. I'll try to get as much out of it as I can. I think when I get close to 30, I'll buy it for 3 years. So I'm like good for 33.
I'm not quite sure if it necessarily works like that. It needs to be renewed yearly. So
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 16 to 25 that you could do for 3 years.
So I basically need to remember that on the day before my 30th birthday to renew it for a year, and then I get it to 31. But that's how you do the game. That's how it works.
That's how it's done.
I like that we got deposited in this back alley full of trash, so nobody will notice us.
It's your version of a sting operation.
I mean, I'm supposed to be questioning the locals about things that are going on, but I don't know. Since the people here are obviously homeless, this feels like a... I hear the cat man. Hasn't been seen around here lately. Okay. Yeah, you
try not to do the scat man.
With like meowing noises. Cats and a big guy. So I can at any time press the left on the D-pad and pull up my police notes of all my clues. And then mentioned a large, intimidating man who watches over cats. So yeah, I guess this mission might be an actual kind of investigation, Phoenix Wright style, showing my police badge to everyone.
Hi, this is my badge. Alright, good for you.
Interestingly, you cannot jump in this game.
Oh.
The most that you can do to jump is send out your legion and send them somewhere, and then press Y, and it'll drag you over. And you can like get to platforms a little higher, but I've noticed in certain instances where they want to put you with points of no return, they'll make you drop down the ledge so you can't get back where you came.
Oh. Interesting.
Children. Ah. Oh, okay. Can I send my legion to get it? Is this the modern equivalent of a cat being stuck in a tree, a drone stuck on like a pipe somewhere? So if I target it... Oh, okay, fair enough. It was attacked. Oh no.
It's a bit like a CRT from this
one. The drones in this, I think there's a couple that have like, you know, faces and talk to you. All the vending machines talk to you in this game. Ah, so this is what happened in the past. So it was hanging around here and then got destroyed.
Oh, so... Oh.
Yeah, you have cyber eyes, so it's basically like detective mode in like the Batman games.
Yeah, reminds me a bit of Detroit.
Yes, or the kind of like scanning stuff in Detroit. That's right.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name again? Connor.
That's the one.
Twink police robot.
I mean, yeah.
we did actually we played Detroit Become Human a little while ago on Cyberpunk Book Club.
Did you complete it?
No. The general conceit of the show is that we tend to play a game for about 3 hours to get a read of its kind of like story and the kind of themes that it wants to set, and then kind of like discuss that through. So it's not necessarily playing to beat, it's just playing to explore, if that makes sense.
Would that be the same for this game as well?
Yes, so unfortunately, since this... Oh, this is an angry one. An angry vending machine.
Right. It was cute, and it's mad, but still.
I mean, sure, that's fine.
It reminds me of our little robot in 2046.
Oh, like Turing. Yes, it definitely has the same kind of expression as Turing.
Yeah.
It's weirdly pushy. Okay, cool. I love service AI that's rude to me. This feels like a... Actually, is this a conversation I can eavesdrop? So, in certain circumstances, if there's a conversation that they don't need to hear, you can send your legion over and eavesdrop.
I'm sorry, but it's gigantic. How are they going to be like, excuse me, I can see your stand right next to me.
Yeah, no, it's like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in that ordinary people can't see stands.
Oh, okay, alright. That's acceptable.
Yeah, the moment that you got your gigantic, like, chunky bracelet thing, you were able to also see the aliens. So the aliens that are attacking people, these people can't see, so they're just having their shit rocked by complete stranger ghost things. It turns out you can't even damage them unless you have the alien sight ability too.
Oh.
So yeah, we are
You're
valuable. As in fact, at the end of the last scenario, all the other stands got taken from the other police members, so we're the only person with a stand now.
Okay. Wow. No pressure.
Street art is a thing about here. Interesting. The fashion in this game is also quite interesting. Like, it's not, in terms of how it's cut, it's just a downy jacket, but the way that the kind of like colors are put on it and stuff is very...
It's very...
unique.
Late 80s, isn't it?
Just the random black patches in the sides that stretches round to the back is very strange.
Completely random.
Also, his like... Everybody, for some reason, is in gym shorts and leggings.
Why? Interesting choices.
Also, I am not supposed to like graffiti, apparently. Fair enough.
Oh, what, is she just saying bad style she is?
Yeah, the options of being like, well, for graffiti, I guess it's pretty, or it's still vandalism.
Oh.
Okay, alright. So this game is very much not of the same perspective as Jet Set Radio. Oh,
so basically, if the two coincided, you'd probably be trying to hunt yourself down.
Mm-hmm. And then they'd be, like, attacked by a weird cyber ghost.
Oh, gosh.
So I'm not quite sure if Beat and the gang would be able to compete with that.
No, that's nuts. Well, imagine that, though. You'd have to try to escape on the railroad. On, like, the railings.
Yeah, grinding away while this alien is, like, chasing you, destroying the rail behind you. It'd be a pretty cool set piece, but I think I'd probably be rooting for the GGs rather than Neuron or whatever. Yeah, this is the police crew called Neuron. Looking for a ghost. Oh, there's a shopkeeper here. Can I buy from this guy, or... No, you won't. You won't disappear. Okay. This is surprisingly open-ended. Like, it's not super linear. Malfunctioning robot. This kid is absolutely stoked to see this malfunctioning robot. Oh my god.
That's kind of cute.
Just so hype. It's possessed. Ghosts are real. Okay. Because even though, you know, we have a lot of tech, our character is not a hacker. So, who knows if we can even... Strange signals interfering with its antenna. Can we... And it's also blocking a ladder to the exit of the area, so I guess we need to be able to solve this. So let's use our
okay, so you've got puzzles and fighting and...
Yep, I remember that tutorial, it's fine. So it says that there is something going on up there. Oh, can I cut the... Can I literally cut the wireless signal?
Oh, sweet.
Is that is so anime? Oh my god. Oh, hold on. Controls. Slash! Oh. It's Y to slash, so it's X to set up and then Y to slash. I see. Yeah, I can literally cut Wi-Fi.
Yes!
That makes no sense, but it's very cool.
I love it.
So does that mean that whenever my mobile phone drops signal, I have an alien robot that is currently, like, slashing at my 4G?
Yes, we're gonna go with that. Because you know what? I used to believe that, like, the card captors thing was real.
I mean, when you're 10, you believe in a lot of stuff. I was rooting... a secret that I will tell you and the rest of the internet who'd listen to this. Before I turned 10, I was a big fan of Pokemon. I still am a big fan of Pokemon, but, you know, the whole thing of, like, when you're 10, you get to go on your Pokemon adventure, like Ash or Red or whatever. And the primary school that I went to was very, very religious. We had, like, chapel on Tuesdays and everything. And, yeah, there was a chapel on school campus. A red ghost. That feels like a chimera that we have to fight. Okay. With no legs. I see. So it's not one that's possessing a human. Good. That's useful to know. Yeah. So we had chapel every Tuesday, and it was kind of talking about, you know, like the power of prayer, and so I'm kind of like, okay, this makes sense. So I can just pray really, really hard, and then that will, like, eventually become true, right? So if I pray to eventually become a Pokemon trainer when I turn 10, that's how that works. Ha! Ha! When I turned 10 and did not see a Jinx walking past my window. Very jaded. Immediate nihilism. So, you know, I think believing that there is, like, spell books that exist is comparatively a pretty reasonable thing. can I buy from this street shopkeeper? Oh, I have no money because I spent it all on upgrades. My bad.
Oh lord. How do you make money?
By fighting things and completing missions. You seem to get paid cash for slaying, like, the chimera, but it's not like you really find money just on the street. It's not like the halos in Bayonetta.
Oh, okay.
So I actually have to, like, go and do my job. God. Right. I'm told that I can climb that ladder, but there's also... I can also go up here, I guess. Ah! I quite like the graffiti. It's like holographic graffiti.
Ooh, that's pretty spicy.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of technology would be used to do that, actually. Because usually with holograms you need a projector of some kind. So yeah. I wonder whether there's like they've like hidden a projector somewhere. And then that's what's projecting the graffiti onto the wall.
I like the idea of that.
Can I just jump down?
Sounds like you're planning to make your own.
I mean, that's pretty expensive tech to just leave open to the elements.
That's true, but it seems like this is in the ideal world where people don't try to steal stuff. Because truly, in the real world, if something like that was out there, yeah, it'd be really cool, but then someone would try to nick it unless someone was watching it.
It seems that, yeah, it does seem that all the... No, this is I think painted on, but then I can clip into the wall, so maybe not.
It's a there's a layer above the wall which is optional for them to turn on or off. So it's not.
Oh, so when the camera's looking the other way, you're not just getting a piece of graffiti that's blocking the.
Pretty much. Otherwise, it's for tile reproduction. If they had painted a wall with the thingy on it, then that means every other wall would have that texture on it, and you'd notice that
right.
Same.
What is it? Ooh, are these timid boys gonna give me a puzzle?
Why are they all the same though?
This kid's gonna bribe me. What? Bribe a bunch of kids. Of course it's a quiz. Of course it's a quiz. That's the thing that policemen do. Quizzes.
I'm suspicious of the fact that they all look the same.
Well, they are the Quiz Brothers, I guess.
I see. The quadruplet brothers, eh?
Quintuplet for 5?
Quintuplet brothers, eh?
What do you say? I could just be, I'm too busy for this. But clearly I need to do this to solve puzzle. So... Yes, boys, give me the quiz. Are you going to tell me about the lore? Because I've been largely paying attention. And one of us is telling the truth. You have to listen, remember, and figure out which one of us isn't lying. Okay, and we'll all tell you stuff like he's lying, he's telling the truth, but only one of us is telling the truth. So everybody's lying except for one. When we're all done, you've heard... I'm bad at these. I'm the first brother, the fourth brother is a liar. Well, okay. I'm the second brother, the fifth brother tells the truth. I'm brother number 3, and we lied before both the first and second brother tell the truth. Oh, right, I see. Well, you're lying, so that's the thing to ignore. I'm the fabulous fourth. The third brother is absolutely lying to you. Yeah, well, that's fine. Number 5, I tell the truth. Number 3 does too. Okay. Well, that can't be true, because only one person's telling the truth, so the rules of the game can't change. So, number 5 is lying. And number 3 is also lying. So, that must mean that number 4 is the only person telling the truth.
What's lying? Because if number 4 was a liar.
Oh, cool. It puts them all on screen. That's good. I'm the oldest brother. The fourth brother is lying. third brother is lying. Okay. I'm the second brother. The fifth brother is telling the truth.
And all he said was that he tells the truth, but he didn't tell you what he's telling you.
Yeah, but we already know that the rules that only one brother is telling the truth, so the fifth brother has to be lying. The second brother is then therefore also lying. Fourth brother is lying. If they're lying, then that means that the fourth brother is telling the truth. The third brother is indeed lying, so it's the fourth brother. There we go. I've got it. What should be like, hey, you're a dummy.
No, I think you got this. I hate these kind of quizzes.
Oh man, so Subsurface Circular, which we were playing last time on Cyberpunk Book Club, really interesting game, but it's quite short, and it seems that the designer decided to pad out the final sequence by putting in, like, there are 3 people, the first person's name was Bob, the third person's favourite colour was red, that kind of puzzle, and it ground the game to a halt. Like, it had nothing to do with the tension of the scene. Fortunately, the game let you skip it.
Oh, good.
But, oof.
Well, is that good? Because then it sounds like it was completely unnecessary.
It was completely unnecessary. I have no idea why that was in there. Because it was at a point where there was like a decent amount of tension, and we ended up kind of like losing the tension as a result. It was kind of unfortunate. Because I did decide to immediately go like, no, I'm solving this, and pulled out a sheet of paper, and then partway through was like,
Because you were like, well, that's it then, isn't it?
Yeah,
if you don't do it.
It kind of felt like if I got this wrong, then I would miss something. But no, he just tells the story again. Oh, there's a door that is a hologram. Okay. So if I go and explore this area, then one of the doors that I run into is going to be fakey fake. Can I speak to you again? You have a whole... Oh, there's multiple quizzes. Okay. No more information out of them. I'm too busy. No, I'm good. I guess there's like a side quest if I get more that way, but I'm fine. Thank you. Ah, yes. I can use the jump command now. So I can put my dude over here and then just swoop over and get to this hidden area. Which is how, instead of actual jumping, I can use that to get around instead. Also, I believe my stand can walk through thin walls, maybe?
Oh, nice.
Or they can't go through walls, but as long as they can go in a straight line from me, so they can go like round corners and go surprisingly far.
So that might be useful for getting across places.
There's definitely gonna. Oh, if I try to go off the edge, she's like, nope. Okay, I can't fast fall either. That's fine. But that's cool. At least it means that like you won't accidentally do like fall into pits. Although there was a platforming challenge partway through where I did just fling myself accidentally into a pit. So let's turn on detective mode. Let's see if I can find a fake door, because that feels like a thing that I should be able to tell if there's a hologram door. Either that or I have to go and pester the graffiti appreciator again. Fortunately, he's an appreciator and not the actual graffiti artist, otherwise I would have to
That's true, you'd have to book him.
Arrest him.
Information display.
Assailant shot the drone twice. The first shot missed and hit the ground. There are no traces of physical projectiles, so it must have been energy rounds. And so we can judge from the trajectory where the shot must have theoretically come from then.
Very detective-y.
Yeah. It's surprisingly chill detective work. Like, there's no time pressure. It seems that they are coming from the same place up there. I think my little scanny eye suggested the place to look at. Let's see if I can...
Information display.
Oh, I could eavesdrop.
Information display.
Maybe this is a thing I can eavesdrop to. How do I get up there? This secretive woman and love-struck man seem very suspicious, and I must get up all in their business. Oh, I can't leave yet until I solve the other puzzles. It stopped me from going that way earlier, I remember. Okay.
Iris, shut down.
Maybe I do have to go this way. Okay. So let's do some eavesdropping, which is pretty interesting, the whole, like, so I can summon my persona, my stand, my eidolon.
Is that what it's called? An idol?
No, eidolon is the name for, like, the summons that you get in, like, Final Fantasy 13, but it's all the same thing. You summon a spirit that can, like, help you out.
Nothing under the sun.
Yeah, but I've always liked that conceit. The idea that you have, like, a psychic projection friend that fights with you is neat.
So this game's up your alley then?
Oh gosh, yeah. When this game announced that you kind of fight with, like, a robot friend to do combo attacks, I was like, good. Don't know anything about disappearances, but
Iris, startup. Iris, shut down.
Oh right, that's right. They're now having a secret conversation, and I need to go away and listen to them. There we go. It was definitely a ghost. No one's gonna believe he saw a ghost, but it had a hole in its chest, which, I think the legions that we have all have little holes in their chest that hold, like, the capture core that it uses. So I guess it means that one of the legions that got stolen from us is hanging around. And we go and retrieve it. Don't get arrested either, but I'm scared. Huh. And also, I can send my friend out to go and get all this air corruption. There we go. Right. So...
I'm enjoying the game so far.
I think this game is super interesting. I'm surprised a little bit that... Let me go out here. Okay, I can go over here. Cool. I'm surprised at it that basically has either all action or this kind of, like, talky, chill bit. The action stuff is... Maybe it's just because it was the start of the game and so I have really low resources. So I was kind of like, the combat doesn't feel great because I don't get to do much. But now, after finishing that fight, I unlocked a bunch of abilities for my stand. So I'm like, okay, maybe it just kind of needed me to... Oh no! If it's not a clean jump, you'll hit something and fall down. I see. I was so close too. I have to go back up there because it seems that's where the shots came from as well. So I want to be able to sneak my way up there. But yeah, now that I've got some, like, new abilities, maybe the combat is going to kind of, like, come into its own a bit more.
That'd be awesome.
Oh no! The jumps are actually surprisingly hard to do. Can I wonder if it seems to stay up there, so maybe I can keep trying to make the jump if I fall. Maybe I can make that work.
Which is definitely the way you need to go.
I don't know. There seemed that there was another jump that I could do, so I want to see what's up there, even if it's, like, items. I just have to make sure that the path is, like, a straight line. Otherwise, I apparently eat concrete. There we go.
And are you controlling with the left analog stick or the right one?
I control the left analog stick. Is Caster, the main character. The right analog stick controls Jim, my stand. But while I'm controlling Jim, I cannot move the camera. So
right, of course.
Because it's the same stick. But usually, so you just have to line yourself upright before you move. I can get cool glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a reasonable reward. I quite want the glasses. So does this mean I can like send my dude out somewhere like here and then fast fall to the ground?
Minus the fence. Wait, can't you just walk off?
No, if you try, they like teeter on the edge and go, whoa.
They don't take fall. Okay, it's quite nice that they're worried about falling and they're just throwing themselves out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Right, let's see if I can find this fake door, because that was also a clue that I was given, that there's a holographic door somewhere. So clearly that is where maybe the place that I need to proceed.
Information display.
I have a feeling that some of this is probably going to be incredibly obvious in the fact that I'm not fully concentrating on solving puzzle. Oh, is this a thing that I can eavesdrop on?
Iris, shut down.
Floating around with no legs. Oh yeah. That was the clue that I got before. I wonder what this holographic door even looks like. I'd assume it would be in a different color on the detective vision, but I've not quite seen it.
Information display.
Although it is saying, oh well. So this is where the drone was shot down, and it was coming from up there somewhere. Oh yeah, that's where the
Information display.
I wonder if I'm missing something. Actually, can I talk to my twin, my bestie?
Shut down.
No, he has nothing to say. How sad. It does feel like there's definitely a thing I'm missing somewhere. I don't know, have you seen anything that feels like suspicious as I've been wandering around?
I've not noticed anything particularly, but everything looks so different in that view. I don't know.
Oh, I just needed to. I needed to see that bit of information again. Shot from mid-air. Whatever shot this drone, it was an air-to-air attack. Oh, I just needed to gain that additional piece of information. Fair enough.
Nice. Okay, so at least when you get close enough to it, it will always do something like that to be like, okay.
So I need to get a higher vantage point, maybe. Said step back. Oh, crows. There was the thing about the secret artist is the person who has crows appear around them when. So my detective vision is detecting all these pigeons up in here. Let's go book them. Oh, through a fake door. Right, it's this, I guess, or something similar. No.
Well, it does look like it's lit up differently, unless it's just a different lighting.
Here we go. I just wasn't able to kind of look back here, I see. So if I, oh, the birds can see him. Do I arrest the graffiti artist? He seems to actually be using a spray can. Which is interesting. So it's actually a spray can that they use to do the thing.
A holographic spray can. As you walk with your bonies.
I'm gonna sneak up by. I guess I can. Oh, it's really blurry and I can't see it. It says angel.
Looks like an angel or a bird or something. It's got a halo.
I'm finished graffitiing this wall. No, don't arrest him.
Yeah, your lady doesn't seem to be as chill as you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a character, I'm supposed to arrest him.
But you could be like, you know what? I see good work you're doing here, and I'll let you off.
I can bind them quickly and painlessly. I like that it specifies painlessly, because Right, where'd he go? Oh, he's lit red. Okay. I don't want to arrest him though. I don't want to let him go. I can see him on the map. He can't escape. He's on the mini map. He's just gonna make me run in circles until. Oh.
Get your Yakuza / sleeping dog chase after the bad guy mission right here.
Yeah, pretty much. Except he can clip through things and I can't. He runs fast though, Jesus.
Right?
Alright, okay. It's cheat.
You're literally just gonna catch him on the flip side.
Mm-hmm.
He's just running around in a square.
Ah! Get him! Get him, my pet! Nah. Oh, damn it. I missed. Okay, back to me. Yeah, just running around in a square. Ah! The fact that he runs actually quite fast is annoying. Ah, I see what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to, like, make a little tripwire on the other end of the road and then just kind of, like, ensnare him. Ah! He's like, trying his best. Got him.
Okay, that's funny.
I didn't enjoy that. He should have got away with it. Fine. Uh-huh. Capture the red go. Yeah, I technically can't solve this case until I arrest the graffiti artist. Okay.
Okay, we've learned about all... Okay.
This should be far enough away. Okay, so what do we know? And it goes and tests me on all the information I've gathered so far. Fair enough. People go missing, lack of evidence, which means that people just straight up disappear into another alien dimension, maybe. Started seeing something strange near the time the period disappearances began. Let's see, they saw a red ghost.
Right, the red ghost.
It's odd. Otherworldly, wrapped in red flames.
Skeptical as you.
I don't know why they're skeptical. They already know what the aliens like look like. It's relatively obvious. It has no legs. You know, like the gigantic floating boss that we fought. It didn't have arms either. It just had floating hands.
Is that what the limbless?
No leg. Oh no, we already said that.
Everyone said, speaking of red, the ghost wasn't the only red thing we heard.
It had a hole in his chest.
No, it was a red door. That's a doorway to the spirit world. So let's see.
More than just kidnapping. Oh, I see. It moved on to the next question rather than giving me the chance to answer it correctly. So I accidentally got 2 wrong in a row. Whoops. It's been more than just kidnapping. It is strange signals.
Did you forget the big hole something put in the surveillance drone? Proof of physical contact.
Oh right, I see.
Needless to say, I'm not convinced.
I mean, it's solving this for me, which otherworldly. Person with no legs comes out of a mystical red door. I mean, it's got to be a chimera. Yeah, no shit.
Talk of ghost sounds silly, but I keep thinking about the whole. Maybe the chimera shot it down.
Cool. So it solved the thing for me, and it's probably going to be kind of like, if you got all the questions right, you get bonus points or whatever. But that's kind of annoying. I would have liked to have
What's the point of having it there if you're not going to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so in the combat side of things, it also lets you do a degree of hand-holding in that on casual mode you can die quite a few times. Oh yes, that was a thing, that the way that the game balances the difficulty of this. So, enemies can, like, one-shot you if you are placed poorly, but instead of just dying, you have 2, like, defibrillator charges on, like, Platinum Standard mode. So you revive with half health when you would otherwise be KO'd. So to balance that out, it's very willing to have things that are able to just kill you. And I'm not quite sure if that's as balanced as I would like. I would rather start the scene over than be, especially since defibrillator charges are for the entire scene. So the first kind of like mission you go on is somewhere between half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on what you do in terms of like cutscenes or whatever. And that's a long time of just having only 2 lives.
God,
yeah, so I think this game is kind of hard from the perspective of like, hey, maybe you just need to like come back and do the stage when you have more resources and the fight is more straightforward.
I could think that.
You know, maybe it's just trying to kind of point out that like, it's fine, go play through the game on casual if you want, and then go and do the difficult stuff when you have the resources to tackle it sensibly, because fighting things that hit faster and wider than you do when you have a single button combo actually isn't great. I didn't enjoy that a lot.
Oh, Jesus.
So now that I actually have some combo tools and a wider range of like attack tools, maybe it will be like a bit more of a smooth ride from here in terms of fighting.
I hope so.
Yeah. Because Nier Automata was like that as well. Like the opening scene of the game is a 15-minute stage, like combat scenario. And there's no saving in it, so if you die, you have to do the entire scenario again. I did that like 2 times on normal, and then having died both times, and I was like, I just switched that down to easy just to do the opening and then move back to normal afterwards, because that just felt more straightforward to do.
This must be her bag.
Alright.
According to the case.
Difficulty in games, because, you know, it's not that the game is poorly designed, you just need to be better, I guess.
Taking us back to, what was it, the old days where you had other games, but there was, for some reason, you mainly played one game. And like you just kept playing that one game until you were the boss.
And, you know, like Super Nintendo games and GameCube games, like Genesis games, where they're like, they're really expensive and you could only really get one every once in a while, so the game is like super difficult to like get your money's worth out of it, as it were. And yeah, that makes sense when you have the time to just kind of play the one game. Also, when you're like 8 and can dedicate.
Yeah, exactly.
No, unfortunately, we are old and busy.
My sister just messaged me that she's heading now. Gonna voice chat. I'm still gonna lurk in the stream, however, though.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm going to be wrapping up soon anyway, so this is a relatively good time. I'm going to wait for this scenario to end. I have a feeling I'm at the end of this scenario. But, do you have maybe 10 minutes before vanishing? Because this is maybe a reasonable time to kind of like wrap up what we're doing, because I have a feeling this scenario is probably going to run for a little longer than I want to stream.
When she says she's going to sleep, every time she hears me talk, she complains. So I don't think so.
Oh no!
She's probably gonna moan right now, sadly.
Okay, that's fair. In that case, I will catch you in a bit. But yeah, do so. I'll keep an eye on the chat, because the wrapping up of the session does help to have more than one person across it. So I appreciate the assist.
That makes so much sense. I'm so sorry I didn't stick around longer.
But yes, let's go. I think we're in a situation where we can kind of like gently move to wrapping up the session, because we're running into my kind of end call time. I tend to run until about 11:15. So if we drift our eyes back to the stream while I realign myself with the camera, because I have to move slightly out of the way to be able to see my TV screen properly. On Cyberpunk Book Club, we kind of start off the session talking about the nature of the game and the things and themes that we expect. And then on the other side of it, we kind of talk about what ideas we can take away from the experience and what Cyberpunk is to the game. And interesting. I guess from this kind of like early stage, there are like two things that the cops do, is solve petty crime and then also fight monsters. You know, maybe as you get deeper into the game, there is more about kind of like solving bigger crime. I know in a lot of the trailers for the game and stuff, it's kind of implied that there's like a terrorist organization involved. So I can see the scale getting like, yeah, somebody's got to be controlling the giant monsters, right? They're all like directed them to Earth. So I suppose that is some nefarious organization or what have you. But it's interesting that, you know, we went from being in like alien bismuth hell to solving who is spraying graffiti around town. It's
true.
a bit of
one of the little sub-quest things.
A bit of a tonal disconnect. So maybe one of the ideas to kind of take away is like having downtime in these kind of games is useful. I quite like the jump between the tones, even if I just hit my mic there, sorry. The jump between the tones is quite interesting. So maybe that's one of the ideas of taking away of action time and downtime. Stops either from getting tiresome.
Well, yeah, it changes it up a little bit. Like even with Breath of the Wild, you could, like, I've not done any of the mission. I don't even have the photography selfie thingy yet. You can spend time cooking if you want to. So if they had a cooking side quest, there'd be something for everyone. Oh, actually, like Final Fantasy VIII, which I rebought, I've spent 2 hours just playing Triple Triad. And it's got nothing to do with the main game, really. So like having those side bits, I think, is probably really important. Especially with the completionist hunters.
As from I guess it was a very small slice of game that you saw, but was there anything kind of like interesting in what you saw that is like, oh, this is an interesting idea that could be used or seen in other things?
The stand thing, I have seen it used before, not in JoJo, but the way that this is, I've seen it before, but I don't know where from. But it brings me an Akira feel.
Mm.
Other than that, I'm struggling to think.
No, I think that's definitely like the most interesting thing about the game, because the plot, or at least of what it's set so far, is a lot of hey, there's an extraterrestrial threat. Your adoptive dad is a badass and has sacrificed himself to save you. It's all very shonen anime, and I guess what you'd expect. But what kind of sets it apart is this weird relationship between you and your alien demon slave. Like, the chain connects to their neck. The relationship between the two of them isn't equal, like, at all.
Oh, it's kind of sad. So what's happening there?
Yeah, I don't know. They can't speak, or at least they don't speak English, obviously, because they're aliens. So who knows how that relationship like develops? But it's interesting that it's not talking about it at all, like, now. If this was a thing that I wrote, not that I would write, well, not that I at a stage where I could write an entire video game, but you get what I mean. That's probably like the first thing that I would explore, is the nature of being apparently almost genetically or psychologically tethered to something that acts as like my own limb. Really early in the game, when they get their legion, they're like, oh, I can control it as if it was my own hand. And
one of them ones.
Yeah, that's interesting, of taking a living thing and then being able to totally and completely puppet it is strange.
The idea makes me think of another game as well, but I can't get that. That was either on the PS2. I'm not sure, but it had something else like that where you could completely control something. Not like Odyssey, but like in this kind of way, like in a forced symbiotic way.
Oh, there was one. I'm now going to obscure PS2 game knowledge. There's one called like Okage the Shadow King or something, where you get tethered to a shadow demon and then you use the shadow demon to do things.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Usually in these kind of... Actually, that's an interesting point. I can think of a handful of different games where the power that you get or the thing that's assisting you is like a demon or an overlord or some kind of curse that you then have to tame. You know, even like as far back as stuff like Dot Hack or whatever, where you get the bracelet of the Twilight that can do all sorts of cool things, but it corrupts you every time you use it.
Right.
But this seems to be sort of the other way around, where even though you, by getting like a symbiotic relationship with this thing, you now get like blue hair and cool scars on your face when you activate it. It's a net benefit. Nothing bad seems to happen to the player character from having formed this relationship yet. Maybe something goes wrong down the line and there's a way that it actually becomes like complicated.
It sounds it is possible, like a rebel, something called, I don't know, probably not Flip, who's in control, but something fancy. It makes me think of the Guyver as well, but it doesn't go all over your body.
Ooh, yeah. Parasite is a really good example as well, right? Where there's like an alien that possesses this dude's hand and then it fights other aliens, but also, so it's like a symbiotic relationship between them, but their balance between them isn't equal. You know, the alien could easily just slit the guy's throat if it wanted to, but it's just easier for it to work together uneasily for now. And I guess this game has that kind of energy to it. I guess I just wish that the demon spoke, or I say demon, that the alien spoke or could express itself in any way. And then I think that would be more interesting, because like I don't know whether you kind of caught the footage of it, but in the first mission, when you're in the alien hellscape, the demon breaks from you and you have to fight it to get it back under your control again. And the fact that obviously it intends to kill you, it suggests that it really does not want to be tethered to you at all.
Wow.
So like how does that how do you come back from that relationship when you start out of a thing that's genuinely hostile to you, and then I guess it becomes like Stockholm syndrome-y allies? Does it become friends if it talks to you and then you realize that it has its own will and own personality? Would you still want to kind of keep it tethered so you could do the crime solving? Who knows?
Sounds a bit like a Dynamite Cop situation could happen, where, I don't know, maybe you have a choice at the end. You could become ... or you could free it and blah blah blah.
Nier Automata has a couple of ending choices that you can make about the kind of like, you know, whether you succumb to the powers that be or forge your own ending and things like that, and those were the really powerful parts of that game. This does not have the same writers, because Nier Automata was written by Yoko Taro, who did the first Nier and the Drakengard games, and he's very, very good at like high drama, incredibly sad, emotionally complex, existential things. So I don't expect Astral Chain to do that. I really don't expect Astral Chain to become anywhere near as existential. But if it does actually give you the option to morally consider what you're doing, not as a cop, I have a feeling this game is never going to question the fact that you're police and what policemen should or shouldn't do. But if it lets you at least consider the relationship between you and the alien you're tethered to, That would be interesting. Also, I didn't like the fact that I had to arrest the graffiti artist. That makes me mad. Yeah, I'm clearly not the right target for that side of the game, right? I'm like, well, he's actively not. We arrested the dude for selling drugs earlier in the game, which sure. That's probably a thing you really shouldn't like yell about on your phone in the middle of the street. I should probably take you in.
Probably not.
But the graffiti guy, he's quite actively not harming anyone, and it seems that people value his contributions as genuine art. I shouldn't arrest you. Come on. But whatever. Okay, to wrap this up, because it's late. What do you think Cyberpunk is to this game? If Astral Chain was a person and explained what Cyberpunk is, what do you think it would say?
It would probably say clothes, natural features.
Sorry, could you repeat that, please? There was a bit of a...
Clothes and supernatural creatures.
Mm-hmm. Creatures / aliens / robots. Yeah, that's definitely true. What do I think Cyberpunk is to this game? I mean, it has the aesthetic, right? It has the whole kind of big futuristic city and big hologram graffiti. What the fuck is... So hologram graffiti is definitely what Cyberpunk is to this game. Let's go and add that in. For sure. But I think more seriously than that, it did say that in like the blurb of the game that the Ark, the city that we're in, is very specifically multicultural. And you see it a little bit in places. In the first mission, you look at the skyline and it feels very much like New York. It's got those kind of like larger, wider skyscrapers with like Jumbotron screens built into them and all that. And then you turn the camera around and then there's a much more densely packed set of buildings that's all entirely in, I think, either kanji or Mandarin Chinese. I can't tell because I can't read either language. But it definitely has a much more kind of like Kowloon walled city where it's a bit more packed together of lots of smaller businesses, which is a very different type of architecture to the kind of like urban sprawl that we get in the West. So they definitely managed to kind of give multicultural through area design, and I really liked that. Yeah. The non-player characters are also relatively diverse. I'm glad that there are people of color on the police force aside from me, because obviously my character could be whatever race I set it to. So if it was a thing where there would be no black main characters unless I made one, that's a problem. Don't do that. So I guess Cyberpunk is actually kind of like a multicultural urban city. I think that tracks. That's I think that's everything. Thank you so much for joining me, Pixi. It's definitely easier to do the show with other people. No. It's fine. I suppose that a degree of being an internet host, of being able to do the Twitch correctly, is still to be able to do the show solo. So it's a skill I am still learning.
You're doing good. You're working on it.
We're making it work. Pixi, where can they find you and your work?
Oh, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/PixiPew. Or you can just type that into Google. Any Pixi Pew is me.
Wonderful.
I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter,
everywhere,
and Facebook.
Making it work, doing the work. 3D modeling, doing cool video game stuff, and occasionally we'll see you at conventions, maybe.
Yes.
Heck yeah. You can find me on this channel usually every other Thursday. In fact, not next Thursday. There is going to be prep for a tabletop RPG stream in the future, but actually, yeah, I think by the next time I'll be streaming on this channel, we'll be doing a tabletop RPG stream, so that's fun. A game that's soon to hit Kickstarter called Mystic Lilies, where you can be a witch and betray your friends. I've play tested it a handful of times. It's super fun. I'm really looking forward to running it with other people. Pixi, that would be really, really cool to have you on, maybe, depending on how schedules work. That would be actually kind of dope, because I know you've done a little bit of tabletop RPG stuff, so I don't know whether you'd be interested in doing more.
I'll get back to you on that for sure.
Nice. But for now, that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen of the non-binary. I will see you all another day.